Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So we are just going to jump right into what we have for today. Okay, the weather isn't great and it's getting quite dark. I've already filmed one video and I just want to rush through this one. Okay, so without further wasting of time, let's jump right into today's topic. Okay, so today we're going to be discussing how to navigate life as a stay-at-home mom in Australia. So let me just say that being a stay-at-home mom is a blessing, okay? It's a blessing, it's a privilege, it's nothing to be ashamed of. Don't let nobody shame you for being a stay-at-home mom, okay? You probably have given up a lot of things to be in this position. You probably have given up your career, your hobbies, your fantasies in life just to stay with your children. So don't let anybody shame you for that, okay? Being a stay-at-home mom is challenging. It is rewarding. You get to be in your kids' life. You get to be present. You get to experience all the milestones. It's very exciting, right? So now, what I'm going to be sharing in this video is how you can maximize this situation. Okay, so someone once said that presence is different from connection, or presence is not connection, something in that line, right? Presence is not necessarily connection. Okay, you could be there present 247 with them, but then we are not actually building any connection. We are not actually building any bond with your kids. Half of the time you're on your phone, we are doing something else. We are like present but absent minded, right? I'm also talking to myself. Like, I'm not perfect. I'm also like talking to myself because I catch myself a lot of times actually just drifting from being a present mom and just scrolling mindlessly on the internet. See, raising kids is hard. I know it's hard. It is tough. So this video is just for people who are moving to Australia, for people who are moving in newly and they are wondering, I have little kids, kids that are not of school age. Okay, if you are new to the channel, by the way, I am a mom of two. Okay, I have two under 3. Okay, my first child is 3 and the second one is 2. So even though they are not of school age yet, there are still a lot of things that you could keep them busy with, basically. So like I always say, register them in library programs. Library program for kids is one thing that I actually really appreciate. I don't think we have that back home. I don't think so. I don't think we do have that provision back home. So it is one thing that I'm really very almost like an advocate for that at this point, because I always talk about that. Register your kids to library program. You guys watch my vlogs and you see how I take them to library program. In as much as it is very fun, it is very engaging, it is an avenue to for your kids to socialize and mix up with other kids. It also makes them develop the habit of reading, because it's library. You see a lot of books, you see people reading, you see people borrowing books, you see people returning books. We are in a world of social media, TikTok, whatnot. In as much as possible, just try to build that interest, right? Try to build that interest in them, interest of reading instead of studying. As someone once commented on my videos, and this person said, your child shouldn't love library, or your child should love playing and not library. And I'm like, it's not your child, so why are you worried? It's not your child. Someone that, like, as a mom, I try to balance all these things. In as much as we know the role of play or whatever, it makes them discover their abilities, it makes them socialize, it makes them all the whole, what's it called, touching, feeling of sound, feeling sensory things, right? We love all of that, but at the same time, the thing is, what you don't build at this stage, this formative stage, which is like 1 to 5, if you don't build a lot of things at this stage, it's going to be hard for you to for them to develop later on in life. I'll just keep trying my best until they are grown enough or matured enough to choose what they want to be. But at least that background is very important. That background, you cannot compromise on that, especially at this formative stage. Okay, I just try to let them know that there's something more, there's something else out there apart from TikTok, apart from YouTube, apart from Instagram and whatnot. Who knows which one that will come out in their own generation. But I want them to know that there is more to life than all the social media and whatnot. And how best to do it? Introduce them to library, introduce them to reading an actual book, okay? I'm also trying to start reading so that I don't just talk, and I want to lead by example as well. I want them to see me reading and want to read as well. That is the one that I'm working on, okay? Having children or becoming a mother will make you want to become a better person, if that makes sense. So yeah, enroll your kids into library programs. Library programs here are free of charge. The one we attend here is called Rock and Rhyme, okay? In every, not maybe not every, but in most, community libraries, you always find a program for kids, and it's free. Okay, just do your own research, find out from your own local library what time they run the program, what days, every information basically. So another thing that I do with my kids, obviously, as you guys have seen, is visiting different parks, okay? That's another good thing with Australia. There are so many parks here. There was a time I was trying to discover one park per week or per month. I can't remember how I did it, but I just love to find out what's happening in other places, okay? There's always a park in every, not even a suburb, like almost like every street, right? Has a park, a kids park, children park. So you have no excuse. And that's also how I try to balance, us going to library and whatnot. I try to balance it with going to play in an actual real environment, right? So yeah, we do visit other parks. We visit the ones that have water fountains and they play with water. And then another one, obviously, you guys have also seen me going to play groups. Okay, I did not know about Playgroup. I felt like I knew I knew a lot about kids, but it was actually quite recently. By recently, I mean maybe, was it this year or last year? Maybe if it's not this year, then it's late last year. And I've had kids I have my oldest is like 3 years old now. So it was later on that I discovered, oh, there's also something called Playgroup, okay? It's also free of charge, okay? You just need to register and indicate how many kids you have, and you put your name and phone number and whatnot, and that's it. So that's another thing that I do: Playgroup, library, parks, and also night markets. So we also try to have a little bit more fun, and we go to night markets. I've been seeing a lot of them in my, what's it called, sponsored posts, both on Facebook and on Instagram. There's one in Cessnock that they are advertising now. I'm just not sure going with my kids in this cold. I think I attended one last year, but my mom was there, so that helped. Not even one. We've attended a lot of them actually here, especially when my mom was around. I was going to every of them, utilizing that opportunity that I had help. And so yeah, night market is another thing. You can search night markets around you, or night, if you live in Adamstown, for instance, you can type night market in Adamstown. It will give you options. It will tell you days that it is going to be held, location, and all of that. It just gives them that variety of playing both in the daytime and at night, and it's just a different vibe altogether. So night market is another one that I would, recommend. So another thing is that you can also enroll them into swimming classes. Okay, we tried doing that, but it wasn't, you guys already know the story. When we wanted to enroll Aura, the trainer told us that it's not advisable to enroll them too early, that it's best to leave it at 3 years, at least 3 years of age. That's when they actually would be listening to instruction and all of that. I don't think I see people, like I see babies of months and they're already learning to swim. So I don't know how true that is, but we are slacking on that. So this is like a reminder for me. So yeah, try and expose your kids to this, because it's something that, in as much as it's scary for most of us that come from Nigeria or Africa, where, at least for me, growing up, I did not go to any swimming, okay? But yeah, it is something that you can actually check out and look at. Just type, always, like, Google is your friend. Always type these things on Google and you'll find out how you can go about that, okay? So the next one is to utilize the internet as well. I know that this one is a bit controversial. Some people are no screen time at all. Some people are managed, controlled screen time. I don't know which spectrum you belong, but for me, I feel like controlled screen time also helps a lot. My kids learned a lot from Miss Rachel. Miss Rachel is good, okay? They learned a lot from Miss Rachel. There's also, a lot of programs that teaches them about a lot of things about reading, counting. See, I used to be anti-screen, right? Me, initially, I was like, no screen time at all. As we went along, I kind of saw, the benefits. Okay, see, the internet is not entirely bad. It depends on how you use it, right? So Miss Rachel, for instance, is very good with teaching and all of that. So if you don't have the luxury of daycare and all of that, that can actually help you. So don't shy away from it. Even tablets, I was like, my kids won't use tablets. See, there are some programs for kids that you could easily download on the internet, and it helps them to learn. And like I said, if it's done the right way, internet can actually be very good. The only thing is that it needs to be controlled. It needs to be managed by you, the parent. That's why you are the parent, right? So where it starts getting out of hand is when you start losing that control. That's when it becomes bad, and you're like, your kids can watch for as long as they want, and that's where it becomes really bad. But if it's controlled, I feel like internet can also be a very good tool. So another one is church program. Okay, I also kind of, not quite recently, I started, like, I went back to church. We've been going to church every week, and there's also children church. They also teach them something outside of church and religion. They also learn, and obviously they also socialize in church. So just find a good church where you actually feel comfortable, you feel at home, supported. I feel like no matter what you do, if that God part is missing, you are not getting it right, okay? They need some sort of supernatural control, if I can put it that way. Because I know that in as much as we are listening to our parents, like growing up, in as much as we are listening to our parents and all that, most of the decisions we made, as kids or as young adults, were very much influenced by our fear of God. Am I communicating? So I feel like that supernatural power, that supernatural being, like God in particular, let me be very specific. I'm not one of those that believe in nature or whatever, the universe. No, the universe did not create me, God did. So do register your kids in church. Start, even if you are not motivated to go to church, because of some things we just do it because of our kids, because they need it. Think about how you grew up and what influenced your behavior and actions. You'll see that it has something to do with you fearing God a little bit, right? So another thing is to introduce them to simple chores. Okay, don't say that because they are too little. You guys already know my kids, they are 3 and 2, but I see they can do simple tasks like offloading the dishwasher, taking off their shoes, washing their hands. There's always something age appropriate for them to do, because all these things start from little, when they are little, to cultivate those habits. Okay, waking up to make their bed, brushing their teeth, doing all of these things, like it needs to start from when they are young. This formative stage, like I always say, is not something that they grow up and they automatically magically learn how to do things and wash plates and be just responsible in general. So I feel like giving them simple age appropriate chores is going to help them a lot. So another thing is obviously to travel and explore if you can, if you have the means, and you don't even need to travel too far. Okay, there are zoos, there are nature reserves. I'm taking you guys to one here, Black Belt Nature Reserve, that we go to here in Newcastle. There's always something here that you could explore and utilize, okay, because most of them are actually free. And yeah, so they say travel is part of education, right? And you as a parent, it will also help you to bond and build memories and whatnot. Just explore and just have fun. It also creates that bond and connection with your kids, right? So the final one is to put your kids in daycare before, like few months before they start school. Okay, I feel like that is going to help them navigate school, because they have never been to a formal, like I said, this is mostly for stay-at-home moms that their kids are not going to daycare and whatnot. What I plan to do with my own kids is that before they start proper school, I'm going to put them in daycare just for a few months, just for them to get used to that formal school environment, proper formal environment before they start school. Okay, and that's all for this video, guys. I hope it was helpful. If you enjoyed watching, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more. Okay, I'm your big sister in Australia now, so I'm just going to be giving advice, and I'm just going to be giving unsolicited advice to whoever that cares to listen. So please do share my content. Please subscribe, like, leave your thoughts in the comment section, and I'm going to catch you in the next one.